Hello, it's Sunday, March 15th, and we're not in the garden yet. We're going to start seeds. So this is how I store my seeds usually. Sometimes they're just around, and they're organized by kind of rough category. These, I think that maybe they're postcard holders, or I don't know, whatever. 4 compartments per page. Seems perfect to hold seeds. So, all right, you get the idea. It's the tomato section, which I like best. Peppers, herbs. Whoops, forgot. There's a bunch of people. I need to start lemongrass for. You have flowers, all sorts of good stuff. So, I already went through here and picked the seeds that I'd like to start for this year, and I'll just review those. So by type. So we have kaleidoscope carrots. Those are rainbow carrots. My uncles Marty and Ralph got these for me at the flower show. We go together with my Aunt Kathy every year. So that's a fun tradition. Those will go in soon. That's a direct sow. These are the 3 types of beans we're growing. So yellow wax beans. These are snow peas from Gurney's. And then this is another type of snow pea, mammoth melting sugar, and then that one's avalanche. You can see there's absolutely no brand loyalty for seeds around here. Anyone that sells them, I'll buy them. Here's our tomatoes. We'll start this year. So these, in these little envelopes, are the seeds I saved. So I forgot to save mortgage lifters and Cherokee purples last year. But I did save Sartre Relois, Hungarian heart, and chocolate pear. So this year will be the 3rd year for these that are growing in our yard, and then the 2nd year for the mortgage lifter and the Cherokee purple. In addition to those, we'll also be doing Kellogg's breakfast, so that's a nice yellow slicing tomato. Blushing Star is like a yellowy orange, has like a pinkish hue to it, and black strawberry. Friend Sarah at work was hoping I still had seeds for Brad's atomic cherry, but I don't, so this is the next best option. So these will get started soon. Those are not direct sow. Also in the start soon inside category are the peppers. So poblanos, saved those seeds last year. And then a bunch of sweet peppers. So Snackabelle are cute little red ones, and then orange and purple bell peppers. We've got everyone's favorite shishito. That's always a big hit. Doe Hill pepper. Haven't been able to get this variety to work great, but we'll give that another try. That's another sweet pepper. Pimento. These worked well last year, and I really liked having pickled pimentos, and I didn't grow enough, so we'll grow some more of those this year. Padron are a little bit hotter or more mild than poblanos. Can't remember which direction. They're delicious. King of the North is another sweet pepper, which, whoops, mixed that all up already. This is new to us this year. It's the candy cane chocolate cherry hybrid sweet pepper. So it's a variegated sweet pepper. Eggplant, obviously not a pepper, but that needs to get started soon. And Jimmy Nardello peppers, those are good frying peppers. Starting soon also are herbs, so lemongrass. These seeds look like dandelions. They're like hard to plant, just a couple, so I end up planting more than I need in a little pot. Eucalyptus, couldn't get this to grow last year. Give it another try this year. Thai basil, because everyone loves that. Catnip, couldn't get this to work last year. We'll try it again for this year. Other things I'm starting inside that can get transplanted early are lettuces. So Declan picked this one. This is oak leaf lettuce, and flashy trout back, which these are, I don't know, we treat all lettuces as like cut and come again around here because, I don't know, I've never been able to get like a head of lettuce that isn't mangled up in some way, so we just do it kind of leaves at a time. So butter crunch also, igloo, this forms heads, we'll see how that goes, and then kale, that's easy to grow, that's always a hit. Okay, and then these are flowers that will start now. So these are called Van Gogh Fantasy. This is someone I follow on Instagram that goes by Sunflower Steve. The petals on these are really neat looking. Multi-bloom geraniums, sunflowers, Johnny Jump Ups, which are cute in the spring. Cosmos, haven't figured out how to grow them very well yet. A couple different types of straw flower, some beautiful zinnias, got these at the flower show, moonflowers from my Aunt Mary Beth, and then something that have yet to be able to grow, lupines at our house. I love lupines. There's a book from my childhood called The Lupine Lady that I love, and Iceland is just absolutely covered in lupines, so that reminds me of that vacation. But I think my problem is that I try to start these indoors because I think that'll help, and then all of the packages say don't bother, just sow them outdoors, which I ignore, and they don't work, so maybe I'll follow the directions. I also had that trouble growing poppies. Like, I would try to start them inside and do all sorts of cold stratification, and then once I followed the directions and just threw them in the dirt outside, they finally worked, and now they come back every year. So that's a lesson to me of do follow the instructions. These are squashy, melony things that I'm not going to start yet because they grow so fast. Honey nut squash, they're the little tiny ones. They grew on the fence, very sweet, smaller than a butternut squash. Blue Hubbard squash is that trap crop, which we'll see if that works this year. Maybe not. Dino melon, that's new for us this year. Melonade is supposed to be a little bit sour and sweet. Looking forward to that. At the Philadelphia Flower Show, the Burpee crew talked me into these. These are tiny little, like, icebox 2-pound watermelons, which seems like a safer bet to me than trying to grow those big whoppers. And these are some, whoa, sorry, I don't know why this isn't focusing. These are some Excelsior cucumbers. And I believe, if I can remember right, yeah, these are parthenocarpic. So they don't need to be fertilized, and I believe they're gynoecious, although it doesn't say on the package, which means they only make female flowers. So that means every flower produces a cuke, which is wonderful. All right, so that's the seeds. Oh, almost the seeds. So Declan's pick last year for kind of the wild card was popcorn. That worked pretty well. So this year his pick is peanuts. Yeah, we'll give this a try. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work, but this is another direct sow operation. This will probably go even in the same bed where the corn was. All right, so step 1 is make sure you're doing this in the kitchen so you can make the maximum amount of mess possible. Step 2 is I've used a spray bottle to kind of pre-moisten some organic seed starter because you can kind of see what's happening here. Like, it's very dry and fluffy, and it actually is a little bit tricky to like, it sounds so dumb, like, get the soil wet as you are trying to, like, water the seedlings. So I find that by pre-moistening it, and it's gonna have to be quite a lot, that does help. So switch hands. It just kind of flies all over the place. Now we're talking. Okay, so I got these little cups labeled for each variety. So fill each of them up and gently tamp them down. Oh, try not to drop them. And then those all go in a little container like this. And then we fill them all up. Well, I just recorded a great couple minutes worth of video showing you that there is indeed seeds in each one of these. There you go. So you believe me. There's seeds in these, and I sprinkled some more of the moistened potting mix on top of each one. And now they will go onto a heating mat, because if you're a seed, there's specific requirements for moisture and temperature to germinate. And if you get that wrong when you're a seed and start germinating and it's not the right conditions, you're toast. So to give these all the best chance of success, I put them on a heating mat, and they'll eventually leave the heating mat when all the seeds in that pot have started. And as soon as the first little sprouts come up, I'll also turn the seed lights on, or the seedling lights on. All right, little extra moisture on the top, and then we're done making our mess in the kitchen, and now we can go make a mess in the playroom. Here is the seed setup. These are obviously not all on at a time. Like, I turn them each on as needed, and like right now there's 2 heating mats here, so I'll put these guys up top, and the lights will eventually go off when I'm done doing this. They're just on now to show you what's happening. And this is just it's an old piece of packing material. It's just a very loose piece of plastic to keep the moisture in, and because the heating pad's on, it'll be the right temperature, and then we'll see them in a couple of days. The seedlings I started a week ago, and we'll check in on them. They're looking great. All right, so I got the lid off, and I lifted one of these lights out of the way just so we have some more room to work here. So based on the size alone, the tall ones are tomatoes, and the ones that are just getting started are peppers, so we can just double check that. Yep, these are shishitos. That's the mortgage lifter. Sometimes the seedlings have, like the seed doesn't come off all the way. Like this. So when that happens, I try to help it by kind of gently pinching to try to undo the shell of the seed. Oh, this horrendous footage. That almost worked. I only damaged the leaves a little. So yeah, the peppers just generally take a little bit longer, but they're well on their way. And as soon as any of these are up, that's when the lights get turned on. So they have something to aim for. And how I usually grow tomatoes or anything kind of like multiple plants all at once, I start them in little tiny pots, and then pretty soon actually I'll take them out of these little pots and put them into, actually start in these cool things. These are from Burpee. They're like rubberized bottoms, so it's easy to get the seedlings out. So I don't bother starting in those because there's failure rates with these seeds. So it's a little easier to just move the ones that absolutely worked into those, rather than starting seeds in those things and then having some percentage of them not sprout. So yeah, these are exciting. And I'll leave the humidity dome on a little longer till all the peppers come up, and then it'll be time to take that dome off. All right.